time on critique today. But I think we can still do some stuff. So first of all, I'm making a wall with a window in it. I've already just extruded that, and you can see here there's a hole, right, for the window. And I have made a window piece, which is just an extruded plane, just to function as some glass. That's this here. All right, so I kind of have a wall done with a window in it and glass. I'll group these together by hitting Control G, and this group I'll call window or wall. How about this? Wall. And then Shift P, by the way, is unparent. And I do that just because if there's like extra stuff here, these are parented and grouped together. So if I want to get it out of the group, I can hit Shift P. That takes it out of the group. And P for parent will put it back into a group. All right. So first thing I want to do is rotate this so it's actually facing upwards. Right now it's not. So I hold down J for angle snapping. Or if it's easier, it might be just to type in 90. Like so. Right. So now I have a wall with a window. So amazing. Can you guys hear me? Are you there? I'm hearing sounds. So, wrong browser window. What the heck? I have multiple browser windows open, so if that's not confusing enough. Wrong browser window. What the heck? And then we have Twitch Inception. Cool. All right, good. You're there. All right, let's keep going because I don't have time. All right, so one wall. And normally I would just do this with a cube. But since I already have these made, I'm just going to do it this way. So then make another wall. You can hit Control D to duplicate, or if you're a cool kid, you can just hold down the Shift button. That's another way to do it. And I'm just going to make a room this way, which seems strange, but hey, whatever. I've got light coming in this way. I kind of wanted to use one of the 3D render scenes to save some time, but I'm already doing it this way, so oh well. Mesh display, reverse. This is just so the normal's going the right direction. Remember that the normals should face inwards, so see how the face is black on the outside, like this, facing outwards? That's good. I want all of the faces to be black on the outside because they should be shaded kind of gray on the inside, meaning that the normals are facing inwards. Really important. So if I hold down Shift, I can clone this or duplicate it by holding down Shift. If the face is selected, it would be extrude. Again, you can see the normals going the wrong way, so I go to Mesh Display and I click Reverse. So I'm kind of making a room now, but I don't have all the sides done yet. And again, I can group all this together by hitting Control G. That puts it in one group. I'll call it room. I know not all of the walls are done. That's okay. Just bear with me for a second. I'm just scaling it up. So by grouping everything together, I can scale it up pretty easily. And we would like to get real world scale at this point. So in a perfect world, if I was doing PBR, physical base rendering, I'd really want this to be full scale or at least proper scale, meaning, you know, 8, 10 feet, whatever, tall, however tall your walls are. That would be ideal. All right, so making a room out of planes. This is kind of weird. Again, probably easier to do it with a box. As long as we have overlap, though, that's all that really matters. We don't want any gaps, right? So, one more. Wall, sorry. Duplicate, rotate. -90. You may, again, need to scale this out. So, and you're like, why didn't you just use a cube? I know. I should have. Would have been easier and faster. But whatever. What's done is done. It's just because I had windows. That's why. Okay. I made a room out of planes. And yeah. It would have been faster to use a cube. But it's what's done is done. Now get a render camera. It amazes me how Twitch immediately like slows down Maya, but whatever. It shouldn't slow it down that much. This is going to be my render camera. I'm like immediately regretting not using a 3D render scene, but that's okay. Oh, I have two apparently. Oh, I hid one. Whatever. All right. I'm inside the room now. For right now, I want to hide the glass just so that I have nothing in the way of the light coming in. You know? God, for some reason things are lagging. And I really do blame the video encoding, so it's very annoying. In other words, like OBS is video encoding this at the same time, and Twitch is then feeding it back to me in a window, and Maya is now running super slow. It's very annoying and hard to use. Can somebody give me the chat link again? That would be fantastic. I should just paste that somewhere so I can always get to it. But in Twitch, guys, can you guys, somebody, whoever did that before, just send me the chat window? Because I'd really like to just have the chat open and not the Twitch tab with the video, because God, that's making things painfully slow right now. Like, just really slow. Come on, Maya, wake up. Wow, slow. Why so slow? This demo is not going well. Oh, cool. That's what I'm looking for. That is it. Thank you. I'm going to leave that open so I can close the other Twitch tab. Sorry about that. Okay, that's much better. I think things will speed up now, hopefully. Yep, pretty much immediately. Wow. No, kitty. You cannot get in my room. Well, why you want in my room all the time? All right, so obviously my camera is doing weird things right now. So let's actually have the camera looking maybe at the window or something. Hit T for target. And then you can easily like aim your render camera out the window, we'll say. Okay. Of course, check to see if this looks good by looking through the render camera. That's render camera 1, so looks good to me. Yep, there's my window. Okay, so first what I want to do is I want to hide the actual window geometry by hitting the H button. We can bring it back. We can name this window too, just so, or glass, maybe, just to be absolutely sure about it. This is obviously the wall. Okay, now let's start our process, because I don't have much time, right? First add a sky dome, then after adding a sky dome, and I mean, there are two ways to do this. I really want to be very clear about this. You could use the sun and sky system. Make sure your sky dome is bigger than your scene. I may have scaled my room out a little bit larger than I wanted to. So obviously your sky dome needs to surround your scene. You can all say, duh, of course. I think I have an HDR hanging out somewhere. Empty lot, it's fine, whatever. So there's my empty lot sky dome. We know right off the bat that we want more than one sample, but let's not worry about this yet. Let's worry about the intensity and exposure. This is just our fill light again. So I'll go back to my render camera, and we can open up, at this point, we can just simply open up our interactive renderer and see what we get, right? Nothing particularly exciting yet. And also it's slow. Let's make sure that under render settings, we're not rendering at 2K. We can render something really, really small, like 640 by 480. Yes, I know that's ridiculously small resolution. And yes, I know that just seems crazy and silly. And why would I do that? Oh, because I'm running out of time. And it's fine. It's actually fine to have something that's 640 by 480 or 800 by 600. If you're just testing out lighting, I don't care. It's fine. So anyway, hit the play button. And you can see it's starting to wake up a little bit, but it's still slow. So in the interest of time, I'm going to use a render region. Turn that on. But I'm not getting too much fill light or bounce light. For fill light, it's not enough, right? So from here, I can either turn up the intensity, which, yes, you can turn up the intensity of your sky dome, but just be careful, because what ends up happening, see, I'm blowing out the sky dome. This is not a big deal if you blow out your sky dome a little bit, because again, you should be using a background plate here for this image through the sky dome. But what we've learned last class is exposure goes a long way. So if I crank up my exposure a lot, like 5 or 6, then immediately I'm getting a lot more light. The downside, though, of course, see, that's a lot. I mean, that just right off the bat really just pushed the fill light so much more into the room, just that alone, right? Now, from here, we'd like to put a portal light in the window and then a directional light, and all of those things will eventually really, 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 really make the lighting look nice. The noise will go away as you turn the sampling up. So first and foremost, pay attention to your intensity and your exposure. Really, your exposure should just be, your intensity should ideally just be at 1, because this is kind of like 100% for the HDR. It's never going to be absolutely perfect, though. So if you need to push it up past 1, it's okay. It's just preferable to tweak your exposure, instead of your intensity. I keep saying this, even though you can turn up the intensity on your sky dome, and maybe you should. And the more you crank up this intensity, like I'll try to demonstrate this by doing something absurd, like turning this up to 16, which would be like 160%. Then that just completely blows out everything, and it really warps your color, especially out through the window. But anyway, it's too much. So I try to keep my intensity at like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 most, depending. And then just use my exposure instead. And then, of course, use the samples to fix the noise. This is probably all old news to most of you, so I'm going to just keep going. We have a directional light that we should shoot through the window. So let's do that now. This is going to be our sun. So I scale it up so I can see it, right? And we can always hide the sky dome temporarily, just so we can see things a little bit better. You should really try to light one light at a time. So if you're lighting with the sun, then just turn the sky off for the time being. Don't try to light with both of them at the same time. And now I'm shooting my sun basically through the window. If you want to look through this, you can go to Panel Look Through Selected. And that's pretty cool, because that actually allows me to look through my light. Well, I say it's cool, but now I'm having trouble orienting things. Strange. Let's just go back to the perspective for a second. That didn't work very well at all. So whatever works for you. Like, you can look through the light, or if, because it didn't really work very well for me, if you don't want to look through the light, then of course you can just use your targeting. Again, T for targeting. You don't always have to point the sun in through the window. That's not like absolutely required or anything. But if you want to see like some kind of pattern on the floor or on the wall, like a pattern of sun, basically, then you can do so. All right, let's go back, look through the render camera. Oh, window's still open down here. So now this should be kind of black, right? Because with just the directional light only, we're not going to get very much light. So I'll hit the stop button. I'll kind of reconfigure this render region. Hit play again. See what I get. Okay, see, with just the directional light and nothing else, it's not very much, right? It's very, very little. Now, a few things. This, of course, is my sun or my key light. Come on. We're running out of time here. So same thing with the intensity and the exposure. The exposure is going to be in your Arnold tab. In this case, the intensity is up here. So, but it's the same kind of thing that applies. So you can adjust your exposure to be pretty high, 4, 5, 6, and that's really going to do a lot more work. Now you can see the sun is really, really working hard here. See, now we're getting a lot more sunlight in the room. And I would always try to turn up the exposure before the intensity personally, if you have to choose between them, because I firmly think that too much intensity will blow stuff out. And on top of that, we want proper color. So by using color temperature here, we can do something closer to the real Kelvin. Don't forget that's at 3drender.com or anywhere that you want to look up Kelvin temperature. But I think we said 6,000 or 5,500 last time. Gives us a little bit of warmth in our sunlight. And then our angle here, this is the angle attribute. This is what's going to give us blurry shadows. So if we want blurry shadows, we can turn up our angle a little bit. And of course we have samples here. So always turn up the samples in your lights first. That should clean up this noise. And I guess at this point I can just go ahead and turn on both lights. Let's keep my samples at 3 and 3. But this is the light coming from the sun. This is my key light. And if I'm happy with this, and again, you could crank up your exposure if you wanted to. 6.4, because we like powers of 2. So this is going to get you the sun into the room, right? But if we want the blue light from our sky dome now as our fill light, then we can go ahead and turn on the sky and the sun. If this still doesn't give you enough light in your room or doesn't give you the effect that you want, then put that portal light in the window. Turn the visibility on, and now I have both. And you might be saying, well, great, but now your window is completely blown out. And you know, that is true. You're not wrong about that. So that's where you would want a background plate here. And you want that background plate to be what you see through the window, you know? It can actually be a textured plane. So you can actually just put a plane back there with the image, whatever you want as a background plate. Do not render the HDR. So what I see now is the HDR. I really don't want that. Okay. You guys with me so far? I only have 5 minutes. So I guess what I want to talk about really quick, because I'm just about out of time. I might make another video because people are asking me to do a few other things. So like, for example, making light from a TV. You know, that would be something that I would like, or light from an iPad, actually, for that matter. If somebody has an iPad, that's something I'd like to cover, so maybe do that in another video. Things are still weirdly slow. Maya's still doing weird things. Or at least it's a little slower than I would like. Oh, why? Here's something, guys. If you haven't checked your hard drive and maybe made sure that you have like a quarter of your hard drive free, that can make things run slow too. Free up some hard drive space. Oh man, come on. So slow. Man, I'm out of time. Maya, stop being slow. Really, I don't have time. When you make a background image plane, I would strongly suggest using the surface shader. This is going to be in rendering. This black circle, this is your surface material or your surface shader. This is what you should be using to put your background plate onto it. So if Maya would actually wake up, that would be great. Okay, there it goes. So see how it's turned black? Go into the attribute editor, since I'm basically out of time right now. Come on. My cat's destroying my couch right now. Get off. Okay. Well, my roommate's cat, but still. Oh my god, Maya. What the heck? This is going to make for a very long day right now. Jeez. Go into your hypershade. Go into the surface shader. Plug in your image plane. If Maya would cooperate. It's just going dog slow. I may have to stop there because this is going a little too slow for me, but I'll try to get there. There it is. Out color. So go to your surface shader, out color. My god. Then go to file. And then plug in your background or whatever you see through your window. You know, I know it's at the wrong angle and position. Just bear with me. I'm kind of out of time. So now at this point, find what you're going to use as a background plate, whatever that is. Oh my god. It's a funny background plate. Oh, empty lot. Oh, good. So there's my background plate. It actually corresponds properly. What? Can't convert to text? Oh, whoop, no, it worked. It just took a second. If I hit the 6 button, there it is. See, so that's my background plate. This is what I'm going to see through the window, right? J is angle snapping. Or again, just type in 90. Negative 90. Cool. And then put this in your window. Of course, make sure it's the right angle. So this is again 90 degrees. And now when we render, let's make sure we put it on the right window. It's over here. And yeah, I haven't done anything with glass yet, but just, oh well, bear with me. But this is what I see through the window. I don't think I need to flip it. I think I'll be okay. Let's just look at it through the render cam. I have 2. Hey, look at that. There's the scene. Oh, no, go back. There's the scene right through my window. And you can scale it if you need to or do whatever. But that's what I'm going to see. Or scale up. I don't know. Whatever is the correct view. But that's what's through my window right now. Maybe it's just sky. I don't know. And then lastly, let's check the actual render. I'm hoping to see that. One more time. Come on. Show me the... Yep, there it is. So this should help you guys, right? Now you can see what's going through the window. There's no glass there. And I mean, a dirty little secret is there doesn't actually have to be any glass there. It's not like that's necessary. It's not. But do make sure that this plane is not just simply blocking all the light coming in. So that's something I would like to mention. I guess that's the very last thing because I am, oh God, yes, I am out of time. So we can make this plane invisible to the lights coming in. You can see I am seeing through the window. It looks nice, but last thing really quick. Oh God, stop. Don't have time. This plane, outdoors, or background image if you prefer. BG plate is usually what we call it, background plate. Okay. So we don't want the light to affect that. Very last thing, I gotta end this demo, but very last thing, we don't want the light to be, we don't want it to block the light, basically. If we go to Window, rendering editor light lister. And like I said, this has got to be the last thing. Actually, in fact, sorry. Relationship editor, window relationship editor, light linking. Didn't quite get that. One more time. Window relationship editor, light linking. You can either go light centric or object centric. I don't care, whichever. But check it out, what you can do really quick. And this is the very last thing. Thank you for holding on. Select the background plate and make sure it's not affected by the sun or the sky dome. And you can just do that by selecting it. So if this is on, then these affect each other. The sun and the sky dome affect the background plate. But if I actually turn them off, then ideally that means the light should shoot through the plane like it's not even there. At least theoretically it should work that way. So yeah, look at that. Now all the light is being pushed into the room properly. And yes, there's noise, but that's just because I haven't turned up my sampling. But that's how you do it, right? So that's how you get the actual image in the window with a background plate and a surface shader. And then, of course, the light being pushed into the room is the directional light for the sun, the sky dome for the sky. Turn up your sampling, guys. That's the one thing I haven't done here because I'm officially out of time. But I hope that helped you. And I know that we didn't cover bump mapping in this particular demo, but you know what? I'll make another demo for just normal mapping, and then you know, even another one if I need to. But I got to stop here. So hope that helps.